What's up, retards? We are back with episode 9 of the CarTards podcast.
Gaming. We're fucking gaming.
Today's topics include the Mazda CX-30, some discussion about newer cars, the new electric Hummer, and two strokes in F1. So, we'll start talking about the Mazda CX-30. So, obviously, you guys may have heard about the Mazda CX-30. It is a new for 2020
air quotes
Mazda. Yeah, it's another crossover. Yet again, another fucking crossover.
Grunt sound effect.
What?
Cue grunt sound effect.
Oh, grunt.
Anyway. We're supposed to pretend to be excited about crossovers here in 2020.
Yeah, the new Mazda CX-30 crossover. Yay!
Fucking crossovers.
How many?
I can't even pretend to be excited about the entire idea of crossovers and SUVs.
I can't either. How many of these do they have to fucking make?
All of them. It's where the market's going, Mark. It's what the people want, apparently.
No.
It's what soccer moms want. It's what dudes who want cars that can work like trucks want.
No? What?
The
dudes who want cars that can look like trucks
act like trucks. You know, it's like the Ford Flex, but like shittier somehow.
Okay. Again, we've talked about this before, and the problem with crossovers is that they're not useful. They don't work.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
They're good for the fucking soccer moms when it snows and they don't know how to fucking drive, and they still drive 20 under the speed limit anyway, even though they have all-wheel drive.
Well, it's all-wheel drive, not all-wheel stop. I don't blame them, but I mean, like up here, no one knows how to fucking drive in the snow. Like it actually snowed for us this week, and it was very scary because I'm still getting tailgated when it's there's 2 inches of snow and ice on the road. So I haven't left campus at all because I'm scared to fucking drive on these roads because the fucking retards that live here don't understand that all-wheel drive does not equal all-wheel stop, and they're just like, ah, yes, big truck means snow, no problem, and then they slide off the road and into a building.
Well, yeah, I mean, something interesting about that is that larger vehicles tend to do better in the snow, and they tend to stop better in the snow.
It's because they're heavier.
Because they're heavier, and the tires just push right through the snowy or slushy layer, and then they stop a lot better than like lighter cars.
It still doesn't mean they can't slide though, which is something that people up here totally don't understand.
Yeah, I'm not saying. I'm just saying that, like,
in the bowl. Well, in the bowl, we're not used to all this snowy yet.
Oh, like in Lewiston?
Yeah, like no one's fucking used to snow.
That's because y'all are pussies and live at like sea level.
Well, I'm not a fucking pussy. I know how to drive in the snow. We come from the fucking valley down south where it actually snows and shits on us every year.
Well, I mean, it snows a lot up here too. It snows more.
But it doesn't snow in Lewiston because there's a fucking 1,000-foot difference between Moscow and Lewiston.
Yeah. Yep. But anyway, the Mazda CX-30. No one
asked for this.
No one asked for it. I feel like no one's going to buy it. They're gonna buy it. It's gonna be like the rich kid's grad present.
Yeah.
That's what it's gonna be. And it's gonna be like, I wanted the yellow Lamborghini.
Buying a new car is a scam unless you're old.
Yeah.
But
I know people who bought like new cars like in college, and they're already in debt in college, and they bought like a new car on a lease,
and then they lease a new fucking car, and
I'm like, why?
yeah, just buy a $300 shit box that gets you to and from campus, save some fucking money, then buy a $500 shit box and work your way up.
Oh, dude, I saw a Mazda MX-30 for sale in Moscow the other day, and I was really tempted to buy it.
Those MX-30s are so fucking cute.
Yeah, and I could swap if it doesn't have a V6, I could swap a V6 into it and make it fast.
They're like the Hyundai Tiburon. Like, they remind me of the Tiburon. Just they look neater to me.
They're a lot shorter than the Tiburon is.
Yeah. Tiburon's
about the length of the MX6 actually.
Those Tiburons are neat and all, but they're so fucking gutless.
Yeah, they don't have much to them. Kind of
like the V6 makes less horsepower than my inline 4 to my TC.
Kind of like the Mitsubishi Eclipse when it wasn't the DSM.
Yeah. It's fucking gutless, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking worthless.
Yep. But nonetheless, the CX-30 should not be a thing. They already have the CX-5. I don't know if they're killing off the CX-5 for the CX-30 or what. Or and the CX-9 and stuff. I don't know why. But yeah, it's also going to be all electric, I think.
The fuck? Well, okay, that's probably the coolest part.
No, never mind.
Oh.
For some reason I thought it was. I don't know why I thought that. Maybe that was one of those rumor things, and now they're like, no, you're fucking idiots.
But honestly, it's how they fucking do it to us. So they're just like, yeah, you want something cool? We'll say it, build up hype, and then, no, fuck you.
No, it wasn't the CX-30. It was the MX-30.
Oh.
Yeah, the MX-30. So they're taking the MX names and they're making them these awful crossovers. That's why I was so fucking mad.
At the Eclipse.
Yeah, it's the same fucking thing, and so they're taking. So basically, what they did was they're like, oh yeah, it's like the MX3, and so they're taking that name and they're rebranding it as another fucking crossover that nobody wants. It's going to be all electric, which with just the right sized battery pack. I don't know what that means.
It means it's going to get you to and from where you need to go within 10 minutes of you.
Yeah.
Twice a day. Because that's what electric cars are designed for right now. They're designed for people who live within 10 minutes of where they work.
Yeah, they're not max. I think 500 miles is the maximum range of Teslas right now. I think
with the big battery pack and.
But that it still takes forever to charge it.
Not really. My uncle has a what is he? He has a Model 3.
Okay.
And he drives it to and from work, and granted, he doesn't ever fully decharge the battery, but he just watches on his phone and charges in an hour.
What I'm saying is, even when there's a line at the gas station, even when there's a line, it doesn't take me more than 15 minutes to fill my tank of gas.
Yeah.
From nothing. Right? When you drain your battery all the way, on a cross-country trip or something, it's going to take you a good few hours just for one person to charge their battery.
Well, yeah.
And there's going to be lines. Anyway, so it's going to take you, it could take you all day just to charge your battery. Unless they come out with some kind of removable battery,
a hot
swappable
swappable battery.
Yeah, but at that point the battery is so big, it would be so hard to do. It's just not. So that's my biggest problem with electric cars is cross country.
Well, but anyone who buys an electric car to do that though is fucking stupid. They don't know what it's for.
I know, but I'm saying that's the problem, and the thing about a crossover is they try and advertise it as this go anywhere, do anything car. That's like, super great. But in reality, no, I would never, ever take an electric car on a trip and go out to a little mountain and drive around and do some light, even just light off-roading. I would never, because I don't trust it. And if you get stuck, if you get stuck in a gasoline car, you can leave the engine running, you can keep it warm inside. It'll idle for it'll idle for quite a while before it runs out of gas, right?
Yeah.
And you can, get pulled out and somebody can bring you some gas and fill your car. If you get stuck in an electric car and you run out of battery, you have to get towed or something. Like you're fucked. You're fucked. So it's stupid. It's really stupid that they advertise the cars these ways when they just cannot do the same things as a gasoline car can.
Yeah.
Or a diesel or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
Tesla actually does a really good job of how they advertise their electric cars, I think, because they don't try to trick people into the haha, yes, this will completely replace your gas car to do whatever you want to do what a gas car does, but it might look like that to the layman who doesn't understand shit about advertising, but I think Tesla does a very good job of saying, yeah, this does this, and if you do this, this will help you.
You call me a layman?
No.
Call me a layman, Jacob?
I'm calling half the retards that live on this planet. Actually, 3/4 of the fucking morons that live on this planet, idiots. Can't see through advertising schemes.
Yeah,
People are fucking stupid.
Yeah. Advertising has gotten also really good at what it's supposed to do. It's crazy. But nonetheless, Mazda MX-30, pretty pissed off about that car because it's just not. It shouldn't even be a car. They shouldn't use the MX-3 namesake to base it off of, because that's stupid anyway. It's not even the same kind of car. The MX-3 was a tiny little hatchback. This is a fucking boat.
Yeah, it's
just a fucking boat. We'll just say that. It's just a fucking boat.
Yeah, all crossovers are fucking boats.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I'm mad about it, as you can tell. Nonetheless, shall we move on?
I mean, I guess.
Or do you want to keep talking about this, Jacob? You can keep ranting about it.
I
have reached the end of my patience to be able to rant about it.
I don't have anything else to say about this that hasn't already been said. I mean, crossovers are fucking stupid. It's an oversaturated market. It's about as far as it goes.
How much do you want to bet they're gonna make the next MX-5 into some bullshitty, awful car?
It's very high, because the trend right now with the car manufacturers is crossovers. Yeah, because people think they need crossovers.
Take old car that people liked.
Yeah.
Make it a crossover.
The only brand that hasn't done that is fucking Toyota, but then they gave us the BMW Supra.
Well, Subaru hasn't done that either, I don't think.
Well, that's because all Subaru's cars are already wagons or they're kind of crossover type vehicles, basically. But Subaru led the charge on the crossover.
Yeah, Subaru actually makes decent crossovers.
Yeah, Subaru has industry-leading all-wheel drive systems. They have
the Crosstrek. As much as I hate that car and I hate the paint colors it comes in,
it's a very good car.
Pretty good car. And if you get it with the 6-speed manual, it's still pretty fun to drive and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll give it what it's due in that regard. It is a pretty cool car for that.
Yeah, I like little Crosstrek.
And they don't lie about what it can do, really. It can go off-road. Not as much as full articulating lifted Jeep or something, but it
Yeah.
can go off-road. Oh, did we ever talk about Jeep dudes? Is that something we ever talked about?
That was our first thing that we ever talked about.
No.
Yeah.
That was something you wanted to talk about, but I don't think you ever did.
Oh, we definitely talked about it.
Oh, shit. Well,
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
That
Well,
was one of the first things we fucking did. You buffoon.
I am a buffoon.
Yes.
Alrighty,
Nah.
well, the next thing, and this is kind of piggybacking off what we were just talking about, is newer cars don't have soul or character.
Yeah.
And that's especially present in today's thing. Like, look at like a new Volkswagen compared to like a new Volkswagen GTI compared to like an old Volkswagen Rabbit.
Yeah.
Does that car have the same character? Does it have any character? No. Any personality?
I think saying any personality, it's a step too far. It has personality. Like, new cars have personality. All cars have a personality. There's always something about every new car. But the problem with new cars is manufacturers are making them harder to work on by yourself.
Well,
They're making them safer to drive. They're making, like, all the cars begin to feel the same. But each car still has its own nuance. They're becoming less and less individual. And I think in 20 years, every car will be the same.
Yeah.
Maybe not even 20, but like 50.
That's what I'm like looking at the cars. Like, you look at an old, 1968 Dodge Charger. That thing is mean. Like, it just, the look of it, and when you drive it, it's just like insane. It's like nothing ever before. And you compare that to like a Tesla or something. It's just not the same character.
I have to disagree. The Tesla Model S looks mean as fuck.
I do not agree. I think it's so like just muted. All the characteristics about it are muted. Nothing's really
aggressive headlights. Some relatively aggressive styling are on the hood and front. Like, the front of it looks like an Aston Martin. A little bit. I see a little bit of Vantage in there. And I see aggressive sports car when I see that. But at the end of the day, like, electric cars almost feel the same minus weight.
Yeah.
Because that's just part of electric cars. They're all gonna feel almost identical, except for like how much they weigh, or depending on your drivetrain, how fast it's gonna go.
Yeah.
But like, my problem is with like mostly just like how user-friendly cars have become. They're becoming almost too accessible for people, right?
Well,
they're giving you all these options because if you're shit at parking, your car can parallel park itself now. That used to be a fucking art form. It used to be, like the rite of passage. Oh yeah, I can parallel park fucking anything because I have a brain and I took the time to learn it. But now it's like, since I'm shit at parallel parking, I don't have any hand-eye coordination, and I'm too lazy to learn it on my own, the fucking car does it. Look at me, I'm the best. The car does it.
Some of these cars are getting almost worse. Like, almost worse to drive and like do stuff. Like, changing. When I was driving that, brand new Dodge Demon, changing the, turning on like the heater, turning on the defroster, like there was so much fucking going on, and especially when you have like a touchscreen infotainment system. Oh yeah, the touchscreen infotainment system. It's neat and all, but it's dangerous. Awful. You can't. So there's no haptic feedback. You don't know where the buttons are without looking at it, right? On a normal, like, take for granted in like a Subaru, or a Ford, even like an older Ford, 19 or 2003 Ford. You can just it's just knobs. You just the fucking knob. Grab the knob and turn it. It's so simple and it works so well. Yeah, now, you don't have to go through three menus to find the climate control. And then look at the menu, because it's not consistent. It's dumb. It was the same problem they had when they changed fucking drive selectors to the knob. People were like, "Oh yeah, we twist the knob
to change climate. We don't twist the knob to fucking put it in drive or park. It's
Whoever
fucking
thought
stupid.
that was a good idea was just like actually stupid. I'm sorry if it
like
was
Ford.
you,
I'm sorry, but Ford, you're fucking stupid. Ford was one of the people that led the fucking charge on that.
Did they really?
Yeah, it was like I want to say it's like an Explorer or an F-150 that did it. It's a really bad decision.
Yeah.
And I think even the fucking one of the new Shelby Cobras, or not the Cobra, but one of the GT500s was mocked up with that knob shifter. And I wanted to kill the CEO of Ford.
Yeah, no, that, and so like newer cars, they tend to they all handle so
boat.
Yeah, because they
all
so heavy.
Feel like boats.
Yeah, they're all heavy. Every newer car is like so heavy.
Like the only company I can give any props to, like on how the car feels, how ergonomically user friendly it has been
Mazda.
in the last 5 years. Mini Cooper. No, Mini Cooper.
No. MX-5.
Mini Cooper.
MX-5.
Shut the fuck up, Mini Cooper.
MX-5.
Have you sat in a new Mini Cooper?
No.
No? So they still have like touchscreen infotainment systems, but they still have knobs and levers and buttons. Your infotainment is only like your GPS.
I don't know what the
be.
new like Skyactiv MX-5s have for interiors, but like I really do like the new MX-5s because they're very true to the way the original ones handled, and they don't weigh much more. They make around the same horsepower or a little bit more, and they are they're fun. They still handle like a car. They don't handle like a fucking boat.
Yeah, that's the big problem with cars nowadays, is they're making them so safe, so accessible.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with making them accessible, but they're making them so accessible to a degree where there is no user feedback.
Like nothing feels raw.
Because now if you're understeering or oversteering or the car's sliding, instead of feeling that in the wheel or in the pedal, alarms blast in your face.
Yeah, and
lights flash.
It's
distracting.
It takes everything, all the control away from you, and then
it puts it in the hand of electronic control systems.
Yeah, which is really fucking annoying. And a lot of that can be bypassed or turned off sometimes in cars. Like, you go into race mode and
it turns off traction control, tunes down ABS. It's helpful, but it's not the same.
Like when I drive my MX-6 with, everything that it's got, it feels just raw. Like you know exactly what it's doing. You know exactly what it's going to do. It's predictable.
Yeah.
But still very characteristic. Like it's very personable.
That's how my old Scion felt, dude. Like that thing had no traction control, no stability control, it only had ABS.
The Mazda doesn't even have ABS.
You could feel every bump in the steering wheel. You could feel understeer. You could feel the ass end kicking out if you actually got it to rotate. It was amazing.
I like to feel like bumps in and input in my steering wheel.
Well, because that's how you know what's going on with the front tires. I mean, that's how you know. Am I slipping? Can I push it harder?
Yeah.
Am I even fucking turning? It's just something you miss on modern cars nowadays, and it's fucking stupid. With all like electronic steering, fuck that. Even good electronic steering is awful.
Yeah,
just doesn't.
It's just not.
It's just emotionless. It's just raw input and nothing else. You move the wheel. Whoa, your wheels move. You hit a bump. You don't feel shit because all suspensions are soft, and you wouldn't know.
It's like driving it's like taking a keyboard and driving a car. Like playing a race game with a keyboard versus a controller.
It's raw input. You don't feel shit.
Yeah.
You don't feel the controller rumbling against you if you're slipping.
So as a human driving a car, you are a control system, right? Mm-hmm. And for a control system, you have a constant feedback loop. And that feedback loop is telling you, like, the feedback is like, the wheel,
What's going
like,
right? What's going wrong? What
vibrating
needs
in
to
your
be
hand,
adjusted?
or like looking at it and you're like, oh, I'm coming up quick on this car, I need to slow down. That's a feedback loop. And so when you take inputs out of that feedback loop, it makes it a lot harder to drive a car. Like, imagine driving a car blind. It's a lot fucking harder, right?
Yeah.
So
Have you watched the video? William Osmond. They set up a car with they blocked out the windshield and they basically made a car with lag.
Yeah.
That's what driving modern cars feels like.
Yeah. You're honestly right. It's like, it's just not. Just like, bruh.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you can't feel anything that the car is doing, you can't react to it.
Yeah.
So you gotta, and they just keep taking it out and adding in more electronic safe,
like quote unquote safety, but it's just desensitized.
Like automatic braking and stuff, and it's like, bruh, I don't need that. If I just don't text and drive, I can do just fine. And it's like they keep adding this stuff to cars for basically for people who text and drive, like automatic braking and stuff.
Yeah,
it's
almost encouraging distracted or inebriated driving.
Right. Like, I've heard people say, "Oh, I have an automatic braking. It's okay to text and drive." And I'm like, "No!"
Yeah, it's those people that I just like when I just like fucking like take them to the DMV and just like, I want you to say that sentence to me again and have someone fucking revoke your license.
Of a police officer.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh. Don't text and drive, kiddos.
Yeah, like the city of Meridian's actually taking good action against it. It's like an instant $700-800 fine if you're like even seen touching your phone in Meridian city limits.
I don't agree that you can't do it when you're at a stoplight. I don't agree with that part of it, but I do agree with like the other parts. Like, don't text and drive when the car is fucking moving.
Yeah.
Like, texting and driving while you're stopped, nothing's gonna happen. If you get rear-ended, okay, there's nothing you can do to stop that in the first place, even if you weren't texting at a stoplight. But like, at a stoplight, just like on your phone, returning a text, as long as you're not moving, you're fine. The moment you start moving, though, you've gotta
you need to fucking focus. I'm sorry. Like, honestly, no one should have to tell you this, but since you people are so fucking retarded, I'm gonna call you out. You're fucking stupid. You have 2 IQ if you think it's okay to actively text and drive. End of story.
Bruh.
Yeah. I fucking said it. I don't care.
Bruh. But yeah. Since it's wintertime, let's do a quick little wintertime driving like checklist for y'all. Whenever you drive in the winter, there's a few things you need to do to keep yourself safe, especially if you're going on a long trip.
Number 1, spin donuts for 5 hours before you start your drive. Number 2, don't tailgate people. It is all-wheel drive, not all-wheel stop. Number 3, clear off your fucking roof and every window so that when you go 50 miles an hour, I don't get blasted by 8 inches of snow.
And please clean off your brake lights and headlights.
Please.
For the love of God, at least do that. If you're not gonna do anything else, at least clean off your brake lights and headlights.
Yeah.
But okay, now when you're going on a long trip, obviously there's some things you need to bring normally when you drive, but in the winter specifically, matches, stuff to start a fire, just general like survival equipment. a shovel if you're going to be in the snow, blankets and warm clothes. You need to make sure you have those in the car. Water.
Ice melt.
Yeah, or like sand.
Or
Like sand or ice melt or something like that. At least probably a small toolkit is good. Some people may not have the luxury of having one of those, but generally keeping a small toolkit in your car is a good idea. And you also, when you're driving on a long trip like that in the winter, make sure you keep your car above a half tank of gas. That way, if you do like get stuck somewhere, run off the road, and there's not service there, and you're waiting for people to come by, it's like a very secluded area, you can sit there and run your car, keep it warm until somebody comes by. If you have a half tank of gas, like if you're at a quarter tank of gas, you're going to want to conserve that gas so you can get to the next gas station. But if you're at a half tank, you've got a little more and you can probably get to the next town.
Yeah.
So that's why I generally keep at least a half tank of gas in your car when you're driving on long trips like that in the winter.
Also, if you start to spin both feet in, goes a long way.
And if you're driving a manual car, instead of just slamming on the brake when you if you panic stop and you hit a patch of ice or something and you're trying to stop and it's not stopping, don't just slam on the brake. You downshift as you're doing it, because the engine will act as its own ABS basically. Especially if you don't have ABS. Like, ABS helps, but the engine actually does it better than the ABS does it. So
it's forcing the wheels to slow down because we're not revving as much. Okay.
Yeah, it really does help, and if you're an all-wheel drive car, it slows down all four wheels equally at that point, so you don't get the ass end coming out if you start to just slam on the brakes because your front brakes are doing everything. So yeah. Downshift. And also, like, even if you're in an automatic car, you can downshift that too,
quote unquote downshift. Yes.
Yeah, go to 2, 1. It helps, or low. And use 4-wheel drive if it gets starts to get hairy. Yeah, but don't leave it in 4-wheel drive and drive 500 miles across a bearing thing.
That's a
that'll
bad
burn up your system.
Yeah,
that'll break shit.
I mean, if you try to turn, you're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
Just
turning radius with 4-wheel drive is not great.
And it'll also just be really jittery.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, if it's in 4 low.
Tries to turn. Why is the ass end hopping?
Throw it in 4 low, lock the hubs.
Yes.
Let's turn.
Christ. Yeah, you people are fucking stupid, but that's why we're here to help.
Yeah. So yeah, those are a couple things. There's a few other things you need to make sure you do, like I said, the water before, and then if you do have a coolant leak, you can still, keep water in your car, keep water in your radiator so you don't overheat when it's negative 10 degrees out.
It is possible.
It is possible.
It's very possible.
If you have no coolant in your car, you can overheat your engine when it's 10 degrees out, because there's just not enough liquid.
It's an internal combustion system. Yes, the outside temperature has a small impact, but when your shit's burning at 200-300 degrees Fahrenheit,
above 1,000 at the point
oh
of
yeah
combustion.
when you're literally turning a liquid into a gas in an instant, shit's gonna get fucking hot no matter what.
Yep.
But hey, that's it.
And make sure your battery's good. Batteries generally go bad more in the summer, but the winter is what takes a toll on them. So make sure your battery's good. Shut your car off at gas stations. Don't be dumb. What else is there? Anything else, Jacob?
Don't be fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Know your limits. Know your car's limits. Know your personal limits.
Driver, yeah, no driving car's limits. That's a real thing. Yeah. Well, that's all I can think of for that. Make sure if you have winter tires, put them on.
Yeah, they help.
If you don't have winter tires, make sure you have chains or something. At least all seasons, please. If you're driving in a snowy area, anyway. I guess if you're like in Cuba, you're probably fine. You probably don't even care.
People live in Cuba?
Communists.
Ah, yes. Fake people.
Fake people. Yeah, anyway, that's gonna do it for our winter prep car thing.
Stay safe out there, you fucking degenerates.
Retards. Alright, up next is
Cock and ball torture. Just kidding. The electric Hummer.
Yeah.
Yay, Hummers are back.
I never liked the Hummer.
I thought they were cool when I was like 12. And now I just look at them and just like, huh, how does that thing stay in one fucking...
So the thing about Hummers is Humvees, like an actual military Humvee.
They have a use.
They're really cool because they have, you know, they have very high ground clearance, and because they have like a special drive axle formation that brings the, like a chain drive thing almost, that brings puts the front wheels, or puts the engine way above the front, and the diff and everything way above the front wheels, instead of like centered with the front wheels and the rear wheels. And so you get a lot of ground clearance, and you can, you know, get over stuff really well. It's really cool. But then they made the Hummers for civilian use, and they were fucking
Arnold.
awful. And they were fucking awful.
It's all because Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, oh, I like this big car. Oh, give it to me. Give it to me now. Oh. That's how we got it.
Yeah.
It's actually a really cool story about how we got him, but like, Arnold, I have one question.
Why?
They're really good at burning diesel.
Yeah.
Taking up 2 parking spots, because, you know, parking fucking hard. That's about it.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess they could be fun.
The civilian use Hummers had a normal diff and driveline of like a normal GM truck. So they didn't have the special thing that made Humvees so cool and made them so good at being off-road. They were just a normal fucking truck that was way heavier and looked like it was made for the army. Like,
because every dude once he's out of the Marines wants to remind him, wants to drive the car that fucking gives him PTSD.
Can't have PTSD if you're living in the war.
You got a fucking point, though. Yeah, there's really nothing like getting out of the military and, you know, marrying an 18-year-old girl and then abusing her for the rest of your life and just screaming in curse words.
Jesus Christ, Jacob.
I'm just kidding. That's a bad stereotype. We don't enforce stereotypes. But to those of you that are like that, you're a douchebag. Yeah.
Well, anyway, an
Cock and
electric
ball
Humvee,
torture, yes.
or Hummer, I mean, would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool. But again, we've already talked about this. An electric off-roader is not... While it is... I'll give an electric off-road one thing. Internal combustion engines are very complex, and if they fail, they're very hard to work on, like, you know, out in the middle of nowhere. An electric motor, however, is not complex at all and very easy to, if something breaks, you can fix it. Probably. Maybe not. However, a diesel engine does not require a computer to run.
True.
And computers fail all the fucking time.
At Mercedes.
At fucking Microsoft. Surface lineup.
Well,
at Apple.
The Surface was dead from the start. Apple just slaps
Pro 3.
Yeah,
cool.
but yeah, they're neat, but like they can't even run regular Windows.
Actually, well, mine can. The Surface Pro 3. It runs
64-bit?
Yeah.
Oh well, fuck. Most of the ones I've experienced can't run 64-bit.
Oh. Well,
anything.
the problem with mine is it's an i5 and it's only got 4 gigs of RAM.
Oh, so it's garbage.
Yeah, there are things that it can't do.
Mm-hmm.
I could run Minecraft on it.
That like what, 20 a second?
I don't know. I never measured it. Fuck.
But yeah,
they had basically a Retina display, so it was a really nice screen. Yeah, no. Anyway, computers fail all the time.
Computers make things unnecessarily complicated in cars.
And a very complex computer is required to drive a 3-phase motor, which is what most electric cars have these days, is a 3-phase electric motor. 3-phase AC induction or whatever. Anyway, and a very complex computer is required to drive that. And then it needs a big ass battery, and batteries also fail.
Battery is expensive.
And batteries fail in extreme heat and extreme cold.
Mm-hmm.
Which IC engines really don't have a problem with.
You just have to, like, the thing with internal combustion is just to give them a chance to warm up, and then you're fine.
Yeah.
But, like, literally electric engines, they are either on or off, pretty much.
Yeah.
So, that's going to warm up.
And with AC induction or 3-phase, they just kind of change the amount of... they change the frequency that it's driven at, and that changes the speed, which is pretty it's pretty cool.
It's ingenious, but at the same time it just is.
Yeah. And anyway, it requires a very complex computer, and we've seen that Teslas have some problems with them with their computers, and it's not going to be any different with the Hummer. It's just not gonna be.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why you'd ever want an electric Hummer, because it's gonna need a huge battery. I think this was just a reaction. The electric Hummer was just a reaction to the Cybertruck.
Oh, it has to be.
When everyone was just like, "Oh, Cybertruck! It looks so interesting."
I just love
let's make an electric Hummer.
I love the Cybertruck so. It's everything that is right with technology and wrong with the car industry rolled up into one package, and I love it so much. The only downside is I hate Tesla's giant iPad that controls everything. It's so bad.
So fucking annoying.
It's so bad.
Like, who actually wants to use that to... Because that's how you control the heat and everything, isn't it?
Yep.
How do you... Because you have to... The problem...
Touchscreen is the future!
Yeah, the problem with that is that in order to like, if it's too hot in your car or too cold, in order to change that, you have to look at it.
You have to go, okay. Okay, so like say you're on a road trip, you're in your map, okay, you have to touch out of your map, which takes you back to the home menu, and then you have to find where it says climate control, then you have to find heater, then you have to touch down 1,000 times for it to do anything.
Fucking stupid.
Then you have to tap back into the home menu, and then tap into your map, and then hopefully it remembered you're still driving, and you don't have to re-put in the address.
Yeah. I don't care if you love Teslas. I don't care if you hate Teslas. I don't care if you're own a Tesla, that's a stupid fucking way to do shit. It's stupid.
Like, it's probably cool the first 20 minutes, and you're like, okay, this is annoying. I just want to do the thing.
Let me turn on Ludicrous Plus mode.
Ludicrous Plus. Really loud golf cart noise. That's it.
Yeah, that's and like that's the problem with electric cars is they sound like a fucking golf cart.
Well, they are golf carts. They're literally over glorified golf carts.
Glorified golf cart. That's what I'm gonna call. So like next time somebody drives up in like a Tesla and is trying to act all cool, I'm just gonna be like, "Hey, nice glorified golf cart."
Yeah, nice golf cart, bro. What is that? Easy Go? Club car? They're like, "It's Tesla, you degenerate." I'm like, "Aha, yes, my favorite golf cart." There's like, "You're upset because you're poor." I'm like, "You're upset because your car can only go 500 miles and then wait 5 hours to charge."
Yep. Somebody in our apartment complex owns a Tesla, and I don't know.
I mean, like, there's like it might work for them because like your apartment complex is like 2 minutes away from campus, so like it's fine. They probably have to charge that car once a week.
Yeah. But
I don't like for anyone that doesn't live within 5 to 10 minutes of where you work or go to school or do anything, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And until electric car technology gets to that point, I will not even think about owning an electric car.
Yeah. Like they've got to work on like charging the car faster. Somehow.
Charging times, charge capacity, efficiency.
I feel like ultra capacitors need to be explored more. Like because you can just literally ultra capacitors charge in like less than a second, and then they're good to go for like
a long time.
Like they have ultra capacitor car jumpers now, and they're lighter than like they're lighter and better than a lithium ion car jumper, and they charge up, and you can trickle charge it with your own battery if it's like half dead, and it won't quite crank, but it still has some charge to it. You can trickle charge it for a little while, and then you can plug it in and it'll jump it because it's got like instead of releasing all that power from the lead acid battery at once, it can kind of just trickle out, and then you condense all that power into the capacitor, and so the capacitor can just do it all in one go basically, which I think is super cool. I think they need to work on that. Ultra capacitors because ultra capacitors are also or capacitors in general are easier. They're easier to make. They're less expensive compared to lithium ion batteries. They're also a lot easier on the environment compared to lithium ion batteries and lead acid batteries and stuff.
Acid batteries, dude, we're vibing.
I need a new battery for the Subaru. Fuck.
I need to check my battery.
I meant to hit bruh, and then I hit the other
I really
one.
gotta take that soundboard away from me.
No. I love it too much.
Oh, lordy.
During this, and I can be like, game over. Which is kind of fun. Jacob's mad.
Not mad.
Oh shit! I didn't write down when we started talking about the Hummer.
It's fine. I mean, honestly, I think this might be a good place to stop for today. Not gonna lie to you.
No, I wanted to talk about the 2 strokes in F1.
Oh, 2 strokes in the Formula 1 racing series? What a segue to a new topic! Pog Champ! 2 strokes. They stroke twice instead of 4 times.
No.
How to make Mark mad. Hey Mark, you know how brakes work?
How do they work, Jacob?
The bigger the brake rotor is, the faster you stop. even if you have straight normal tires, if you just make your rotors bigger, you stop faster. And then the sticker I put on my car gives me 25 horsepower. How to trigger Mark. Just say absolutely wrong things back to back to back to back, and then watch his face turn red and watch him explode.
Okay, 2-strokes in F1. We're gonna start talking about this now. I think this is a great idea because 2-strokes are cool. I also think rotaries in F1 would be cool, but that's just...
Yes.
Anyway,
Apex seals.
So the whole reason that 4-strokes are cleaner than 2-strokes is basically because they've had, over 100 years of development, research and development to make them run really clean, right? Because they've been used in everything. And 2-strokes just haven't had the same development because they weren't as easy.
They weren't as prominent.
Yeah, and they weren't like quite as easy to tune just from the get-go. They weren't as easy to modify. They weren't as easy to, do this and that too. However, in my experience as a member of the University of Idaho Clean Snowmobile Challenge team, 2-strokes can run just as clean as a 4-stroke.
Yeah.
Because they are especially like a direct injection 2-stroke, damn, those things can run fucking clean. Because the whole problem with 2-strokes is that A, they burn oil, and B, they short circuit air fuel. So they tend to, they make it, they're kind of run smoky, and people are like, oh, they're so unclean, blah 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 blah, just because they're so notorious for that, because people with their 80-year-old weed whackers with a 2-stroke.
They're fucking lawnmowers that puff blue smoke when they start, because that's totally representative of every 2-stroke engine ever.
Well, lawnmowers are all 4-strokes anyway. So
I swear my dad's lawnmower used to be a 2-stroke. It did sound like a Honda, so I guess it was 4-stroke.
Yeah. 2-strokes are generally sound a lot different. Anyway, the whole thing with 2-strokes is that they're way, they make almost double the power of a 4-stroke for the same displacement. And they weigh a whole lot less for the same displacement too.
If anyone's ever held a chainsaw, or a rotary saw, or a weed whacker, or one of those backpack leaf blowers, they're light as fuck.
Yeah.
Relatively.
Yeah.
So
those are all 2-strokes.
Yeah.
Well, so snowmobiles, a lot of them have 2-strokes because 2-strokes are lightweight. And in a snowmobile, especially if you're doing mountain riding instead of just trail riding, you want a lightweight sled that you can throw the fuck around.
Yeah.
Because it just makes everything so much easier, and you can get to places better, and you don't need as much power to do stuff. And so you want something that you can just throw the fuck around, basically. I use throw in a very light sense here. You don't literally throw a snowmobile because they're too fucking heavy. But maybe some people do, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But nonetheless.
How much does a snowmobile weigh? Like what? 500?
500 pounds.
I can squat that. I could deadlift a snowmobile.
Hold up. Actually, I think our snowmobile, our team snowmobile, weighs around 700.
I might be able to deadlift that.
2019 ski do 850 E-Tech. What the fuck? Oh god, this fucking ad blocker.
Imagine.
850 E-Tech Ice Cobra.
Ice Cobra.
MX30 So this is the MXZ specs. We want, oh my god, it doesn't tell me how much it weighs. Fuck. God damn it.
Ooh, big yawn.
Christ. Okay, well.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway, this is a 850cc engine from Ski-Doo, 850.
So cute.
So it's tiny, but you know how much horsepower it makes?
Many.
165 horsepower.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
That's more than Jacob's Scion TC made.
By 5 horsepower.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than a Hyundai Tiburon makes out of a fucking V6.
Yeah. It's 160 out of 850cc. It's so fucking cool.
Imagine hating joking.
Can you repeat that?
Imagine hating 2-stroke engines after hearing that.
Yeah, right? Like, you make double the horsepower because it only needs, it does twice as many power strokes in the time that a 4-stroke does 1.
Mm-hmm. Because it
and
literally it's doing less in the same amount of time, or doing more in the same amount of time.
And
it has to do half the work.
The tuned pipe is good at forcing more. The tuned exhaust that 2-strokes have is good at forcing more air into the cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
And also, if it's a double, like if it's 2 cylinders, as one piston comes down and another is going up, it does something called boosting.
Mm-hmm.
What they call 2-stroke boosting, where because the crankcase pressurizes as one piston is coming down and the other is going up, it actually forces more air into the piston, into the cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
So it acts as its own supercharger almost.
Hog.
It's super cool. 2-strokes are super cool to me. 4-strokes are cooler just because they have like valve trains and stuff, and valve trains are cool.
Yeah.
But like 2-strokes are really, really, really
2-strokes just neat.
Yeah. And
because it's neat, it automatically has value. Hog.
Yep. The hard part is getting them to run cleanly, but you can do it. We have done it. Like, they can run pretty damn clean. So, yeah, 2-strokes in F1 would be super cool. It would be, they could get it to run cleaner, probably, than a 4-stroke. They could get it to run, they could get it to be lighter, faster. Like, oh, it would be badass. And those things would be super loud.
They'd fucking scream.
Yeah.
It would be so much fun to listen to.
I'd be psyched as fuck to see that. I'd be so psyched to see that. 2-strokes in F1, man. I'd be... Yes. Sign me the fuck up for 2-strokes in F1.
I just want to listen to some, like, actual screaming F1 cars again.
Yeah.
Miss those days.
Back when they had, like, V10s.
The 11,000 RPM V10s.
Yep.
Ripping down straights. I miss those. I'm excited for the bigger limit on the curse system this year.
On the what?
On their energy reclamation system, whatever the fuck it's called.
They're setting a limit on that. I didn't see
No, they're
that.
making it bigger. They're letting them use more of it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. 2020 is gonna be a fun year for F1.
Yeah.
I was talking about it with one of my coaches the other day. He's from England.
Oh.
And he overheard me talk about F1. He's like, yes, I see you are a man of culture.
He's
like, oh yes, Brits. The stinky American knows about F1. Giggles to himself.
Yes.
He's like, it's so pog. Yeah.
Well. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for today. Yeah. Had a good nice talk. Stay classy, retards.
Yeah, stay retarded, classies. Bye.
Take you. Come on.